I am Jamie, and I will be discussing why Stalker is superior to the Roadside Picnic.
I'm Yohannes. I'll be talking about how Roadside Picnic, the book, is better than movie Stalker.
The movie's scenery and imagery really invites people into the story. It allows long moments for the viewer to immerse themselves and even ponder the surrounding area. I really think that this surpasses the Strugatsky brothers book because the audience doesn't have to imagine the surroundings. They can just encapsulate themselves within the movie, living and breathing in this colorful zone. Like the audio itself, you wouldn't get that in a book. Maybe you can interpret a sound, but you really start to hear the chirping and the water flowing throughout the zone, and it really brings it to life. And there's also this sense of anticipation of oh, what's to happen next, what's going to occur, what's going to happen when they venture further into the zone. And overall, it's just really meditative. The audio and the visuals, they just leave this space to have your thoughts provoked.
Well, I believe you have some good points. Even though the book could not include such visuals and everything, imagery is kind of better in the book because it's not just visual and audio, but in the book it kind of includes the sense of smell when they eat or when they're in the zone. It also includes touching, the sense of touch. For example, when Redrick was in the slime, stuck in the zone, she talked about how sticky it was and hard to move through, and you can feel it on yourself, and that gives it more life. And the good thing about being in the book is the reader themselves creates the world in the way they understand themselves. They don't have to understand it how it's presented on a movie, just fixed. So I believe the book is better in that way.
Yes, but I could argue that the sense of touch and smell are kind of conveyed in the movie a little bit through the characters. I mean, it's not maybe not as interactive to the actual reader who can probably think of the scent, but the facial expressions on the characters themselves and just the environment they're interacting with really gives off to be this murky or lushness of
yeah.
And the rust, just going around the whole zone, and even in the part of Russia too.
All right, those are good points. Another factor of the book that is different. The book is more in the readers are inside the character's mind, so they see everything as how the character views it. Sometimes it changes the view to third person, but usually it's inside Red's mind or someone else's mind, and that gives the readers a more in-depth view and how the protagonist sees the world.
The movie allows you to be a part of a group in exploring the zone, and these long moments stretch on the through the camera work leads the viewer's mind to wander. And in the story where, in the book where the viewer can make their own interpretation of what the world is like, so can the viewer when they can just sit down and ponder, well, are there aliens in the zone? Or why is there just so much rubble and destruction? Or can they really, get their wishes granted?
Right. What I want to also add to this, or a reply, is even though the movie had long shots and what seems to be cool shots for some people, while I was looking into it, it kind of had zero, little to no animation in the book, which made it more difficult to really put complicated or otherworldly things in the movie. So that limited the ability of Tarkovsky. Also, something I forgot was in the book, the main place in the zone, which they really focus on, which was where the wishes granted, is represented with a golden ball. And in the movie, it was more.
Oh yeah, it's just a room.
Right, exactly. And that also kind of supports what I was saying, because they couldn't really make anything. In real life, Tarkovsky, he was limited.
Yeah, but this limit kind of works in Tarkovsky's favor because hold on, let me explain. It works in his favor because his point isn't the orb or just the wishes in general. It's well, what would happen to the people if they are given this opportunity? What would they do? And they see it as something far too dangerous, or something that can corrupt them. But I mean, yeah, you could have an orb and have them like get their wishes like that, but it would kind of miss out on this dilemma.
I guess. Yeah, but since it's like I said, since it's people are the readers, the audience, since they know the zone is not like it's more of alien like, just a room. It's kind of lame, you know. They would expect something to be in the room, just an empty room. But in the book, like you could have seen it as anything because it's all about the imagination, you know. Conclusions. We probably have already concluded.
Yeah, yes, but I do want to say,
Yes.
I do want to say, hold on, let me look. Overall, I believe that the movie is better
No,
because
don't say that.
yes, because it creates this sense of awe within like entering the zone. Like in the book, could you really see much anticipation, or do they just kind of feed it to you right away? Because there's this buildup in the movie
Yeah.
where we're on the railroad tracks, and all of a sudden the world just
Oh.
blows up into color.
Oh, I see what you mean. Well, interesting thing about the book is like it's snippets of different parts of Russ's life. You know, it started as like Red before he even had Monkey and everything. He used to work in a like a scientific institution thing. Like he was still a stalker, but he's still working there, and like he's not as the person you saw him in the movie. And he took people there with permission. Like he was cool with it. He didn't have to sneak in or anything, and he just walked with scientists to bring stuff out. And then after that, like it just skipped a few years, and near the end, he's just sneaking there to get some swag. They call it swag.
Get some
They call it swag in the book. Yeah, it's just there's not an end to it. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
They both believe, like usually we're used to happily ever after or dead. That's it. You know,
Yeah.
someone like dead.
It
This
just
one
continued.
is like, yeah, like then what? Any sense? You know?